was not coming this evening? Carolyn, do you know?
No, I have no idea.
Okay.
He got the invite, so we'll see. Shane is going to be a little bit late, but not too much. Okay, so let me take a roll call. Dean here, Jim here, Ellen here, Roger,
I'm here.
Kathy, Carol. I know I missed some people. Who did I miss?
Bob Green.
Oh, Bob, how did I do that? I am so sorry. I heard your voice earlier. Okay. Who else?
Oh, look, I can see everybody else.
Hi, Ellen.
There you go. Hi, Ellen.
I have no idea what I'm doing.
You're
That's
doing
all right.
something.
You're doing fine.
You're on a phone. You're fine.
You're fine. Yep. Okay, so I have Carol, Jean, Jim, Ellen, Roger, Kathy Lee, and Bob. Did I miss anyone besides myself?
Our two guests.
Yeah, our
Yeah,
guest.
who are the guests? I'm putting Jim down actually as a guest because he's not sworn in yet, but that's fine. Who else is here as a guest?
Debbie Goldman,
Debbie, what is your last name? I'm sorry, I didn't catch it.
Goldman,
Spell it for me.
Goldman.
Okay. Who else is on as a guest?
Carol, Candace.
Yeah,
Okay,
Candace Howe.
Candace, last name?
Howe, H-O-U-G-H.
How?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, H-A-U-G-H. Okay. Anyone else? I have 3 guests so far.
Did you get me, Carolyn? Kathy Keene?
Okay. Jean? Will do. Did I say that right?
I didn't hear. Were you addressing me, Carolyn?
I'm a, okay. Alderman?
You're breaking up.
My connection is stopped for some reason. Yeah, nothing I can do about that. It's technical issues with. All right, did I get everybody that's a guest? Was there a 4th person?
There are 2 people, Carolyn. I got the 2 names. Candace Howe
Okay, all right.
and
I thought I heard somebody else.
Goldman.
Okay,
Debbie Goldman.
that's fine. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is to welcome John Roger Lee, known as Roger. And thank you for joining the commission. He was sworn out in last Monday. And Roger is there. That's fine. Anything you'd like to say? Okay, to the group. I think you know everyone, but just in case, maybe not Debbie or Candace.
I know Debbie and I've met Candace, so I'd say I know both of them. Welcome, both of them.
Okay,
Welcome, Roger.
okay. Well, again, I want to welcome you and thank you for joining the commission. Next thing is, we talked about this in the past, I think at the foundation meeting, we really need to our charter says within that group, we need a chair, a vice chair, a secretary, and a treasurer. So I don't know if anybody wants to put their own name in for one of these positions. The positions are only a year. They don't necessarily follow the 2-year.
Carolyn, I don't know if you can hear us or not. This is Jeff. You're really having a tough time with your internet connection there. I don't know if you want to maybe call in via phone call or something, but you're really struggling with your audio connection there with your internet.
We may have lost her.
Yeah, I think she broke up. She's having a really tough time with her connection. There's nothing I can do about that. All of these connections are based upon your internet connections where you are.
We understand.
Yeah, so we'll work through it. But if she can't get connected via video, she could always use her cell phone and try to just make a phone call in to try it that way. We'll stand by. Unless someone else wants to jump in the meantime. If you-
I have a question for you, Jeff. Shane is scheduled to join our meeting this evening. Were you aware of that?
I'm not aware of, all I do is send the initial invite out to
Okay.
and you guys disseminate it amongst yourselves. So I don't see any other attendants waiting to come in, but if I do, I'll certainly pop them in there.
Okay, I think that's the plan. Carolyn had invited him, and perhaps he's gonna join us at 7:30 or something. I'm not sure about that. Okay.
Yeah, he's gonna invite us. Can you hear me, Jeff? Jeff,
You're just breaking
Can
up
you hear
really,
me?
really bad. You're just breaking up
Yeah.
really bad.
all right, if somebody would just give me the phone number, I'm gonna call.
It's
Jean, can you
301.
hear me?
Yep, I'm gonna give it to you. Hold on.
I'm sorry, what is it?
Here, Jean, can you chat it to her? Can you
I'll
get
put
in
it
the
in
chat?
chat, Carolyn. 301.
Okay,
That way we don't put that out to the public because this is on YouTube.
let me open the chat window.
All right,
Okay, I have the chat window open.
I'm just putting it to you, Carolyn. The chat
That's
doesn't
fine.
work. It's the Zoom number, so hold on just a sec.
You can put it wherever you want. It doesn't matter. We're the only ones seeing it.
Hold on, I'm just copying and pasting it from my own message to you all.
Carolyn seems to be back again.
Yeah, but it's not reliable, so what I'm gonna do is I'll keep the video up, but I'm gonna call in and mute my phone.
Can you see the chat, Carolyn?
Yep, 301-715-8592.
Yeah,
And let me go to the bottom of the screen and mute my phone.
I'm also sending you the meeting ID number in case you get asked. I think Jim said he was asked, which is typical for when you're dialing in.
It's also going to ask for the passcode. Y'all still there?
Yeah, we're here, Bob. We're waiting for Carolyn to reconnect on her phone because she was not successful with her audio on video. Are you there again, Carolyn?
I need the passcode.
I sent it to you on chat.
Here are parrots in the background.
I was wondering whose birds those were.
Those are my parrots. Jackie and Ernie and Violet.
That's a nice sound to have in the background.
Can somebody send me the passcode? I've got the meeting ID and the phone number, but no passcode.
Passcode is 235396.
Six.
Good job, Bob.
Thank you, Bob.
All right.
I'm glad I printed that on good old fashioned paper for you.
Yes, me too.
Oh, golly. We'll get here sometime.
So where are we now?
I'm not sure.
I think we're
Carolyn
still
is
waiting for
trying to
Carol.
Carolyn is trying to get on.
Yeah.
While she's doing that, as you know, we do need a chairperson for the Historic Preservation Commission. And Kathy Keene has agreed to be vice chair, right, Kathy?
No, I haven't.
All right.
So let me just say, I'm not committed to even staying on the commission. I'm really discouraged about our Historic Preservation Commission. And I just don't know. I've lost my enthusiasm for it. So I'm just going to have to see. I'm not quitting right now, but I'm not willing to step up and be any kind of I don't know what I'm going to do. Sorry. I'm sorry, but that's how I feel.
Okay.
I don't mind being the secretary.
Well, that's a start.
Okay, because I'm already secretary for the foundation. I might as well be the secretary too.
Right. Okay, good. We've got one out of three. I have told Carolyn Zinner that I'm willing. I've told Carolyn Zinner that I'm willing to do it on an interim basis, but I have to say candidly that if my family out in Oregon can figure out a safe way for me to get out there, I'll probably go to Oregon at some point later this year or early winter. So I'm happy to do this. Get things, get the ship righted again, get things going. We've got a lot of wonderful things going on and a lot of things to get done. Are you back, Carolyn?
I'm on the phone, but I'm getting a lot of feedback.
Okay.
You have your
Well,
phone
we're
on speaker and audio
We're
on.
discussing leadership issues. And,
All right, here's what's going on. She's got her phone on speaker and her computer audio playing, which cannot happen. So you either need to be on speaker and kill your computer audio, or the other way around, because you've got a feedback loop going on with two audio sources.
So anyway, back to our
Oh.
issue of having a chairperson.
Although, this is Jim.
Okay.
Although I'm not a member yet, hopefully I will be within a week. I would be willing to be treasurer. It's kind of something I do for the rec committee, and
Okay.
I'm not sure what this would entail, but I would be happy to do that.
Thank you, Jim. I don't think it currently entails a great onerous matter of things because we don't spend much money because we don't have much money.
Well, we have $5,000 in the budget for this year. And we do need a treasurer when we write checks and, whatnot.
Do we have our own checking account?
No.
No, but I don't
Okay.
think we ever had a treasurer.
So we just work with the city,
Yeah, we work with the city.
Yeah, the
right?
city,
So
So if you
I
wanna
guess
write a
treasurer
check-
can keep track of how that's going.
yes.
That's right. That's
Yes.
right.
Yeah, Ron always did that. We didn't really have the position of treasurer. We had chair, vice chair, and secretary, I believe. That's the only ones. And then Ron always took care of dealing with the city. And
So we do need a
Well-
treasurer.
so, yeah.
Ron, because Ron has left the commission, I think it would be wise to have a treasurer.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, I
Yeah.
did too.
Thank you for
agree.
volunteering, Jim. Yeah, you basically work through the city. You have to get approvals for expenditures and stuff. And right now, not all commissions, I understand, but the Preservation Commission is going to get its 5K, but we're probably going to get it in little increments. Perhaps when
Mhm.
Carolyn gets on, she can comment on that. But because of the pandemic, the city is being rather careful about its expenditures. Carolyn is muted, so I'm not sure what she's doing.
Just gonna mention that she's on.
Okay, Carolyn, are you back? No, not yet.
No, okay.
So the question is, maybe we should just go around and each person can say what they intend to do, whether they intend to remain on the commission or whether they intend to leave. Because I think it's really behooves all of us to understand where everyone stands. And if people expect to resign in a month, then I think they ought to be candid about that.
I agree.
I had spoken to Ron several years ago when I anticipated being in Oregon a lot more than I had been in the past, and he encouraged me to stay on the commission, even though I was occasionally missing meetings. Well, and in some cases it was perhaps more than occasionally. So that, and I think attendance is an important, thing to be concerned with, but I have no intention of resigning unless someone asks me to. So.
We're not asking you to. We want you to stay.
Oh, no, I'm just starting off the discussion of what people intend to do. I'm
Right.
just going to go across the top because we've already heard from Kathy. How about you, Roger? You've just gotten on, so I assume you would.
I've only been on the commission about a week. I think I better
Okay,
stay
good.
for a while.
Because we're not voting you off the island by any means. Okay. How about you, Kathleen?
Oh, I'm staying on. I'm going to be the
right.
secretary.
Okay, I'm just trying to use up some time here while Carolyn gets on, and also just to have a candid conversation. How about you, Carol? How are you feeling about the commission at this point?
I'm still on, and let's just see how things go. I don't know if any of you know it, but because of this pandemic, I am stretched to the max with my business.
Sure.
Oh,
So, someone we all know has been in the hospital, and I have medical power of attorney and have been looking for their finances as well. I am overwhelmed, to say the least. So I'm trying so hard. So I'm here. If things get to the point that I just cannot be stretched anymore, I will be candid and say I can't stay. But for now, I'm here. Historic preservation's always been very important to me, and I'm still glad to be here.
Okay.
Good.
Thank you for being candid.
All right, can you hear me now?
Yes, Carolyn.
yes.
Okay, I hung up the phone. I'm back on the computer because there was too much crosstalk. Before we start talking about
No, we were.
whether we wanted to stay on the commission, people wanted, huh? What?
Go ahead.
All right. Before we start talking about whether people want to leave the commission or not, I would really like us to hear from Shane first, because we had a lot of questions, and I think he can clarify. Who's speaking?
You are.
Yeah.
Oh, I just heard somebody else, so I didn't know. I'm just all right. I'm gonna try headphones. I don't know if that's gonna help anymore.
Hi, Shane. Are you on the line there?
I am. Can you hear me?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Good evening. Well, welcome to my studio. So,
I was admiring. I hope we're going to have a concert at the end to cheer us all up.
you don't want to hear me sing or play drums.
Oh, yes, we do.
Thank you so much for jumping on with us. I know you have a home life and all sorts of other things going on. And I know Carolyn invited you specifically to informally talk with the commission. She's having lots of technical problems. So why don't you go ahead and share with us what you'd like to share with us? And,
Sure. I apologize for being late. I had an
oh,
appointment.
no, that's okay.
I'm kind of shooting from the hip a little bit.
Yeah, we're here either on phone or on audio and video through our computers. And we do have two guests, Debbie and Candace. So Shane Grimm from our city planning department, take it away.
Okay. Well, if you don't mind, first I'll just start with some housekeeping stuff. We did receive a demolition permit request for 944 Pulaski Highway. I apologize that you don't have any materials in front of you to look at, but it is a house that was built in the 1950s, and that property has been on the market for quite some time. And the problem with that property is that it doesn't have sewer readily accessible. So it went at a bargain basement price. And so the current owners, I don't know if they've closed on it yet, would like to demolish a portion of that house. So I'm not sure if you're familiar with it, but architecturally, it doesn't really have any significance in my opinion, and no historical significance that I know of.
Is it
So-
that one-story house? One-story
Yes, I
building?
believe, yes.
Yeah, that was up for demolition a couple years ago, maybe
Okay.
5 or 6 years ago.
How did the commission vote on that last
Oh,
time?
we had no problems with it being demolished.
Okay, great. Well, it's only going to be a partial demolition at this time. So would it be fair to say at this time that the commission would have no objection to that?
I have no objection. Jean?
Yeah, I mean, everyone pop up if you have an objection or if you want more information from planning department.
You don't have to make a decision tonight. I'd be happy to forward you photos and a map tomorrow if that would help you.
That would probably help.
Okay. Okay,
yeah.
I'll do that. I'll do that tomorrow. I would just ask if you could turn it around as quick as possible. That would
We
be
will, we will. I wasn't on the commission when it was considered before, but I'm sure Kathleen's correct that it's not a property that has,
Okay, well, good.
historic-
So I'll get that to you tomorrow, and then as soon as you can get back to me, that would be great. So I just want to talk to you a little bit about some of the things that, I am looking forward to working with the commission. But I just want to step back for a minute and talk to you a little bit about, I think, some of the things I talked about early when I came on, is that I really believe that the Historic Preservation Commission is an extension of the Department of Planning in the sense that we're a very small municipality, so we don't have a lot of hands on deck to be able to do a lot of different things that we want to do. So I really look at the HPC as our historic preservation planner. So I really want to encourage all of you to start acting as if you're a historic preservation planner and start bringing some things together to me that I can work with you on and then foster that conversation with the administration. So what I'm getting at is I don't expect you all to write ordinances and things like that, but I would expect that you could flesh out some things that you maybe want to do or think the city should do or work on. And then I can work with you all and try to put it in ordinance form, take it to the mayor and Steve and see what they think about it and go from there. So that's just kind of an overall thought process of where I see the HPC heading. And, I want to apologize. I wish I could be more available to you all, but it's a bit challenging with my responsibilities. So the other thing, not sure what that is. The other thing that I wanted to talk to you about was a while ago, I believe the mayor and Steve had suggested to the HPC is that you work on a list of the top 20 structures in the city that we could potentially evaluate for whatever reason moving forward. And to my knowledge, we haven't received that. Now, I understand that the easy answer is, well, there's way more than 20 structures in the city that are worthy of preservation or some type of incentive program or whatever it may be. And I'm not suggesting that we're heading down that path at this time, but we really would like to see what the top 20 structures are of most importance to the HPC so that I can then take that to the mayor and talk to him and see what they'd like to do with that. So has there been any work done on that recently?
I believe that it was sent to the mayor, but guys, jump in because I was missing in action last summer when the ordinance was passed and all that other stuff.
I don't think it was sent.
You don't think it was sent?
I don't think it was sent because we all agreed that there's certainly a lot more than 20 that are worthy.
Right.
On the top list, more like 200.
Well, I would have said more than that, Kathleen, but I would suggest
top ones that would be saved would be at least 200.
Right. Well, I'm not looking at it as the top ones that would be saved, and I don't want to suggest that the mayor and the administration are only interested in the top 20. I think it's more of the approach of let's start somewhere, and start the discussion. So it's not that the remaining 180 are not important, because you could rank those as well. I mean, you could do a ranking from 1 to 200 if you so chose. But what I was told was that was what was told to the HPC, is to try to rank those top 20 and forward them to the mayor. And if you want to get the ball rolling on further discussions about what we can do with historic preservation in the city, I need to get that list, and then I can start working from there.
It's Carolyn. I just want to say, can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Great. Okay. I'm using a different computer now. So anyway, when I first joined the commission as the liaison, I was under the impression that a list had been created. It's a lengthy list, but that it had been created and turned in. So
True.
maybe we can check with Ron on that, but I really felt that that was communicated early on when I was there, because it was one of the items that was on his agenda each month. And that, while the list was extensive, it had been submitted.
Yeah.
So
It wasn't top 20 though. It was like a
Right.
lot of properties.
I understand that. But there is a list that already exists. So maybe we can take that list instead of starting over again, just take the list and look at the top 20 as Shane's recommending, and it would take a lot less time. I mean, we can even do it as part of a meeting. Go ahead, Kathy.
I was gonna say, that's true. We did, Marita O'Connell and Diane Clare worked on they compiled a list. I don't know how many properties were on it. I think I have a copy of it. And it was submitted, but it was a lot more than 20. It was like you said, it was, but that list was submitted. Diane knows about that
Okay.
because she worked on it.
I'm just kind of circling around since,
Sure.
and I will circle around with the mayor, and I'll circle around with Diane as well to
Yeah.
see if that was submitted.
Yeah,
But that is really, kind of my instructions as well from the administration. Let's focus on the top 20 structures and start, talking about that. There's no specific plan, ideas, or anything like that. They just want to see that list. I don't know why they're saying that they haven't received it, but I'll check into that.
Yeah,
Well, it probably wasn't received in that we never specifically said these are the 20. We gave a much longer list that was partly based on the original inventory and some additions on it. Because Diane had some historical documents about what had been done for the original inventory.
Yeah,
Yes,
we had the
history.
inventory from the late 70s. We had two other lists too of important buildings.
Lafayette Trail list.
That's right, Lafayette Trail list. And then there was one more. There was some survey that was done.
The one that Diane did with the War of 1812 properties, those
Yes,
lists.
yes, that was it.
Mhm.
Good. Well, I'll circle back around on that and confirm whether or not it was received and what, if anything, was done with it. But that's where we're heading. We want to take a look at those top 20 structures and go from there. One of the other things that I'm not sure if I brought up before, but something that I have on my long list of things that I'd like to see done in the city is I am looking at, and this isn't necessarily preservation per se, but I am looking at how do we incentivize infill development in the city. I did an analysis about a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago, and there's roughly about 100 to 120 lots in the downtown area, say between Juniata and the river.
Right.
I'd say only about maybe 70 of those lots are buildable. But what I would like to do is come up with a program to incentivize that infill development based on design guidelines. So where I could use help from you all is to take a look at maybe other jurisdictions have design guidelines. Maybe there are specific things that you would like to see in new downtown development that should be considered, or we can say almost like a scoring system that if you do this type of home and you use these type of architectural features or materials or whatever, you may get some sort of incentive to try to help that new infill development be consistent with the aesthetic of the historic downtown. So that's where I could really use your all's help into kind of like pointing me in the right direction or what you think would be good.
Shane, could you repeat you said you thought there were 70 buildable of those that are infill. What was the total of the infill?
I'll have to go back to my old spreadsheet
Oh,
that I
you didn't
pulled
say.
up.
I
But
thought I missed it.
there was roughly between 100 and 120
Okay.
lots
So a
downtown.
significant percentage you think is buildable?
I'd say around 70-75% could be buildable. And we're starting to see that infill development. But one thing that I want to caution you is not to be concerned about is if we would do anything with that, there would be no incentive to tear down. It would be specifically structured to say infill lots that existed and are vacant. And so that there would be no incentive to tear down, because I know immediately when I talked to Diane about it, that was her first, well, no, we don't want to incentivize tear downs. That's not my purpose. So we can structure in a way that wouldn't be an issue. Do you guys have any thoughts on a program like that?
I don't know. I'm always taken back to a lecture I heard by a city planner like you up at my university, and he characterized streetscapes when a house was torn down as the street missing a tooth. And that's sort of my I don't know if that's a standard thing in city planning, Shane, or not, but it just sticks in my brain.
Well, it's funny you say that, because I use the same analogy, almost the same today, dealing with paper streets and people that owned the center lines of the street or center line of the alley or not being missing teeth. So it's not actual plannerism, but seems like
well, anyway, it helped me to conceptualize it as being, I mean, I think everyone in the Historic Preservation Commission really appreciates the importance of streetscapes.
Right.
And we've talked a lot about that in our meetings the last couple of years. And I think the infill project, as you've characterized it, might be a really nice way for us to, do something.
Right. So I would request that you guys take a look at that. The other thing that I'm going to be working on eventually is the city code with respect to setbacks for new development and things like that is very antiquated. And I really believe that in a downtown district, in a downtown historic district, there's no reason to have a 15-foot setback and things like that. I really want to preserve that streetscape context and make sure that homes are up near the street, just again to preserve that streetscape that we love. So those are some of the things that I'll be working on as well, hopefully in the near future.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All I can say, what I really want to say is, Shane, this is music, certainly to my ears. And I think everybody is loving what they're hearing from you. And what you said about the 20 houses and how this is just a starting point. It's for me at least, it relaxes me a bit. I feel a little bit calmer about that list. I do know that I agree with Jean and Kathleen that we did put on the list. Yes, maybe it wasn't done in a way so that they understood that response to their original 15 structures. Right. But this is very exciting, and I know that all of us will be happy to work closely with you and give you whatever information you need to be successful in this. So thank you very much for this, Shane.
Right. So there's no specific plan, like I said, at this stage with these 20. We just want to get them, talk internally about what some things we might be able to do. So I'm happy to foster that. Sorry, I'm kind of maybe going on a little bit of a tangent here, but as I had to rush into the meeting, I didn't have all my thoughts together. I did want to follow up on Scion Hill. Scion Hill has been purchased, and it did in fact close. I'm very optimistic that very good things are going to be happening with Scion Hill, and it's going to be showcased. I don't have any specific knowledge of any plans at this point. I can tell you that it was purchased by a very high-powered attorney out of Atlanta, Georgia, who has a specific interest in the Rogers family and apparently owns some memorabilia of the Rogers family. And I don't know specifics, but it's my understanding that he has taken a great interest in it in Georgia or in Atlanta in historic preservation and has worked on some high-profile projects down there. I hope to get some more clarity on that and hope to meet the gentleman at some point. The property was sold with the approximately 20 acres around the property. There is an agreement with the Green family and the Green family's proposed developer that would allow certain portions of the property because we know because of the approved concept plan that there will be roadways that will need to come in. Certainly based on the plan, they won't come near Scion Hill, but it will have to cross that 20-acre property. So there's agreements there. So I'm very, I don't even want to say cautiously optimistic because I believe I'm really optimistic based on that and the fact that I'm familiar with the developer of the Green property and I've met with him several times. I've known him from when I worked at the county and hearing him talk about Scion Hill and his passion for the property. I don't know how he's not a player in that I don't believe he has any financial interest in it, but I believe there's some type of working relationship with the new purchaser that good things are going to happen. And he's super excited to work with the new purchaser. And there may be even bigger things on the horizon to showcase not only Scion Hill, but Havre de Grace. So as I learn these things, I will certainly share them with Historic Preservation Commission. And I hope at some point that potentially, it probably would likely be a Zoom meeting, but maybe we can get Mr. Johnson on the phone or on a Zoom meeting to kind of share his vision with the commission.
Sounds good.
So,
Sounds wonderful.
right.
Shane,
Yes.
this is Kathy. I am so excited. That is the perfect person to buy Scion Hill.
Mhm.
Somebody was interested in the Rogers family. And I mean, I am just so excited about that. That was really good news.
And I think, and as I've gotten to know Mr. Green more over the last 2 years, I don't know this as a fact, but I believe Mr. Green had some offers more than what he actually sold the property for, because I think him and the family, and he was basically the representative for the family, I think they took very seriously who was going to purchase the property. And that's why we ended up with the gentleman who purchased the property. And I'm really excited. And there may be some tie-in outside of the Scion Hill property too, with some good stuff. So stay tuned. And as I know stuff that I can share with you, and I'm allowed to share, I will share that with you all.
Great.
Thank
Well, maybe we can arrange to have a meeting in the council chambers in the future because I know the Tourism Advisory Board, we're meeting there tomorrow. So I know, it's possible to use the council chambers, and especially if the developer is going to come to talk to us, it would be much better if we could do that.
I agree.
I used council chambers last night for planning commission. And as long as we know how many people are going to be there, it's easy to make it work.
Yeah.
So I'm happy to help with that too.
And I just have another thing to say before I sign out. That's this is what I wanted to ask you. See, we were told that Historic Preservation Commission is no longer under the planning department. Is that just a temporary thing?
It's not that you're not under the planning department. It's just all boards and commissions and spending and the budgets are under administration.
Okay.
And I think that's more also because of buckling down because of COVID-19 and all that stuff. So, as far as working relationship and the liaison, I am still the liaison to the HPC from the Department of Planning. And that's a natural fit. You guys should be with me. So it only has to do with budget. That's it. So.
Well, that's good to know.
It has nothing to do with how you guys spend money. Everybody has come under administration.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, yep. And apologize if I'm talking too much, but
Oh, no,
the
no.
last,
We're here for.
the last thing that I want to talk to you about is, I know there's been a lot of chatter about demolitions in town, and I feel the same way as you. I think, it's sad, and I wish there was more we could do. My hands are tied. There's not much I can do, but I do want to let you know, and I'm not saying this to pat myself on the back, but I don't broadcast this, but whenever a demolition comes in, I always call the property owner and have a conversation with them and ask them if they have considered preservation or if they've considered any multitude of things.
Here.
So it doesn't go without effort. I feel that it's my responsibility to at least let them know about Havre de Grace history in general sense and how important it is, and the good work that the HPC does. And I always ask them, if you would like, I can get you in touch with the HPC. Now, 300 Market Street, I talked to that lady who purchased the property, and I expressed that HPC thought this was a very important structure to keep. The lady said to me that, they had actually looked at that. They felt that based on the damage from the fire that was never corrected, and damage over the years, and unfortunately, Mr. Malin's inability to keep up with the property, even though we chased him around, it just really wasn't savable. And she said she did go through the property to try to see if there was anything, whether it be mantles, molding, anything that could be saved, and there really wasn't. I did express to her that I could get her in contact with HPC, and she declined that, which is her right. But I want you to know that the Department of Planning does understand the passion of the HPC and the interest of the HPC, and we're doing our best to get the word out there.
Well, on a side thing, my phone's ringing. I did talk to Clark Turner, who is the person who'll be tearing the house down and building the new house.
Mhm.
And he has agreed to let Roger and I and Carol and Kevin salvage some of the things in the house.
That's great. I would caution you I know that's Clark saying that, but I would make sure that you get something in writing so that there's no liability issues.
Right. Okay, that's a good idea.
Yeah, because I would hate for you to do it and then somebody finds out and says, no, I didn't give my permission. I would strongly encourage you to get that to avoid any liability issues. So along those same lines, Kathy, I also with, I can't think of the address now, Congress Avenue, next to the old Ordinary, that's going to be demolished.
Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
I spoke with the owner of that property, and he has agreed to, well, technically, the Department of Planning is supposed to inspect the interior of any structure to be demolished. But I spoke to him and asked if I could walk through and document the structure before it's demolished, and he agreed to let me do that.
That's good.
So if there's anything specific in that structure that you're aware of that you would like me to photograph, please let me know.
I guess doors, trim,
Mhm.
anything, mantles.
Right. And I will ask him as well if there is anything in there, if he's not going to salvage it, if he'd be willing to donate that or whatever. I'll do that for you.
That would be
I've
great.
also gone and taken pictures of both of those houses from the outside, all the way around. If that helps anything.
Right. Well, I'll take the inside pictures and I'll forward them to you all.
Good.
I'll probably take Diane because she takes better pictures than me.
Hey, on that note, Shane, the
Yes, ma'am.
question had come up earlier about who do we get in touch with from your department, get in touch with the HPC when there is when you do get a demolition permit?
Well, the permit, if you just want to know about the permit process or where it's at, you can always call Marissa or Colleen.
No. I'm sorry. Maybe I didn't ask the question right. Remember you had said, who do you reach out to at the HPC when you have,
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
So with Ron resigning, I just wanted to see who out of all of you wants to be the point of contact on demolitions. Or who you're intending to.
Oh, Carol Demas' hand go up.
Okay. So,
Carol.
She's
so we can-
muted.
Carol's not with us?
She's muted.
Oh,
We can't hear you.
he's not talking right now. Carol?
Carol, unmute.
She's doing it.
Yeah, she's mute.
She said something. I could hear her, but I think maybe she's having trouble with the connection. I can see her mouth moving.
Oh, she flashed on and now it flashed off again.
All
I
right,
think
but-
she raised her hand, Shane, in
Yeah.
agreement that she would do that. Someone will do it for
Yeah,
sure.
Carol, just nod your head if you agree. Okay. That's the easy way.
And I just want to be clear, maybe Carolyn has already spoke to you about this. Ron has done an amazing job with the HPC and the things he's done over the years. And I'm not saying this in a negative way, but we need to get away from the email chains where there's discussions amongst the group because of open
Here,
meetings. Act.
here.
So, not only can it just be somewhat annoying, but and I'm not saying that in a derogatory way about Ron. It's just it really is the city is taking more seriously, and the reason is it has nothing to do with HPC. It has generally to do with, and it's not only us as a municipality, but we are receiving more and more requests for Freedom of Information Act requests.
Sure.
So that is the impetus. This isn't coming down on any one commission. It's just we are beginning to receive more and more Freedom of Information Act requests. And we got to make sure that there's no discussion that is not out in the open.
Yep.
So.
Absolutely. People should not please send emails when they don't have the proper subject line.
Right.
Just
Yeah, that's another thing. Yeah.
waste of everybody's time. Shane, was that your last point you wanted to make?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I probably talked too much.
Sorry, I just wanted to ask two quick questions if I may. Do you need to go quickly or?
No, do you want me to do a drum solo before I?
Yeah.
Sure.
And Shane, I have a list from another meeting I wanted us to go through with everybody. Go ahead,
Okay.
Jean, you go first.
Going back to the possible zoning change for the setbacks. In the context of the way we currently do zoning changes,
Mhm.
is that a likely thing, or not likely, is that something that would require typically additional changes in the zoning, or would it be something, I know when you do zoning, you don't want to do little pieces here and there because then,
It's not rezoning. It's
know
so
it-
don't get it confused with rezoning. All it simply
No.
is we have a chart that says if you're in this zoning district and you want to do a single family dwelling, you have to be set back 15 feet. If
Mhm.
you want to do a duplex, you have to be set back 5 feet. Those types of things.
Mhm.
So there's better ways to do it.
Okay, so it would require more than an administrative change though, or
Oh,
what?
it'd be an ordinance change.
Yeah. Okay, that's what I was getting at. And then the other thing is something I wanted to share, and I think I've shared it with the group. I read about a community in Massachusetts that was dealing with the demolition of a major structure in the town. And it was kind of going poorly. And it turns out that in this particular, I don't know, maybe it's all of Massachusetts. I hadn't researched it, but when there's a demolition that is of concern from a preservation point of view, the town or the municipality actually has the right to put a pause on the demolition for 9 months.
Yeah, now I've heard of that in other jurisdictions too.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, that's I've seen that in other places. I don't really want to comment on the possibility of that happening.
No, I don't expect you to. I just thought that was interesting, and I don't know whether that's something.
No, I've heard that.
or anything. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so Shane, we had discussion one night about different things that are really on the minds of the members.
Mhm.
And I'm going to go through them and you can talk about them in any order, but they were part of the, I don't know if you have a copy of the agenda, but it was,
I don't, sorry.
okay, incentives to not have properties fall due to neglect. The certificate of appropriateness, and you and I spoke about this, and I had talked to April, but I thought it could wait till this meeting to give a clear definition. Improved communication mechanism regarding status of abandoned homes. Unoccupied houses is similar because we have some unoccupied houses in the city that have been unoccupied for years and they're just falling into disrepair. What is the city's vision for historic preservation? And then we talked a little bit about the DPW connection costs for tear downs versus incentives for fixing up a property. Because of the 3-year limit that a property can be torn down and someone can build and not have to pay for that hookup. So maybe that ties in with some of the development with the infill lots, because they would have to, if they've been empty, or if it's been a lot for more than 3 years, they would have to do that at, have that additional cost, incur that additional cost. So anyway, so these were some of the things that we talked about recently. And if you can address any of them, that would be perfect. And I can repeat them one at a time, or you can.
That's all right. I'll try to chew off as much as I can.
Okay.
So I believe that the vision of the administration on historic preservation is evolving. You know, I have had some discussions with them, nothing too in depth, but I do think that the administration's thoughts on a historic preservation commission and a new commitment, specifically through me, to the commission is really evolving. And, you know, I'm going to try to better to dedicate myself to the commission as I am able. With respect to demolition by neglect, what we need to do and what I can use you all for is that while we do not have a demolition by neglect specifically, an ordinance for that, what we have is the property maintenance code, which a lot of other places don't have. So if you see a property that is falling into disrepair, say, for example, say the shutters are falling off, the gutters are falling down, paint's peeling, the property maintenance code already deals with that. So Earl does a good job, but he's only one guy. But I have taken a more aggressive stance as I am able with property maintenance. Earl generally gets compliance, but one thing the city has never really done recently is ratcheted up to actually district court letters and sending people saying, look, if you don't do this, we're going to send a municipal infraction to the district court. So you can be my eyes and ears and say, look, this property really needs attention, because I can't be out there on every street. So please, you will not be annoying me in any way. You are my eyes and ears on the street. Please send those to me. I have often thought about the empty and vacant and abandoned homes in the city, and it drives me insane. Specifically, the property next to the John O'Neill house.
Yes.
Yes.
Right. We had an issue right after I came on board where a tree fell in the backyard, and some people have told me that house hasn't been occupied for 40 years. I don't know if that's true or not.
That's the
But
rumor.
I'm sorry.
That's the rumor.
Okay. Well, I've been trying to figure out a way tactfully to potentially start sending out letters to property owners to see what their intentions are with properties, and to remind them that although their property is vacant, that we have a property maintenance code and that they need to maintain their property whether they live there or not. So that's what I intend to do with abandoned property.
Here.
Thank you.
But again, I know the several that are out there, but if you see ones that are becoming problematic, then you just need to send me an email and say, you need to look at this property or that property.
Yeah.
Well, Shane, I love what you're saying. And I think you're everything, I know you're a historic preservation advocate. We all know that, and I know that personally. I just wish that you were an elected official, because that's the only way things get changed
One of these days.
by law, because you can't do anything really, it has to be a law.
I only have political aspirations when I may have had a few beers. So. But
The
no,
certificate of appropriateness.
Yeah, we need some preservation people on there, on the mayor and city council.
right.
Well,
Well-
we have one. We have Carolyn.
We have Carolyn, yes.
Absolutely.
This is Bob Green.
Hey, Bob.
Hey, Bob.
I want to talk a little bit about the Moore family house and the legend that there's a person buried beneath the porch. I think the porch is kind of torn up now, or will be soon. Is that right?
That's true. We're waiting for the materials, but there's money in DPW budget to repair that porch with the appropriate.
Well, I want us to pursue the rumor or the legend that there's a person buried under that porch before they redo it.
Bob, it's my understanding that we don't know where the porches were on that house. That there's evidence that there were changes made in the footprint of the house. And several people have suggested that it's not necessarily the front porch. I don't know what the basis of that is at all, but that's what I have heard.
I heard it was the side porch.
I thought it was the side porch too.
That's what I heard. I heard it. I don't know.
Are you there, Bob?
Hear me?
I'm still here. I'm just wondering, should I give up on this thing or not?
I don't know. Let's see. You know what? I'll talk to Tim some more about this, but let's wait. We have to wait and see until they start pulling up that porch anyway to repair it, to see if there's any possibility that that's the right porch. I don't know how we find that out, but we still have some time before they start repairing that porch.
Well, I think we should check it out to see if we can
Yeah, I don't know what the
determine whether-
mechanism would be to prove or disprove it, Bob, but I'll bring it up with Tim
Okay.
again.
Okay.
Thanks,
I know
Bob.
that he's waiting for the materials before he can, move ahead with the porch, but
Well, I don't really have anything else to say to you guys tonight. So may I go?
absolutely.
We're so glad you were able to get on, Bob. Take care.
Bye, Bob.
He's gone.
Good night.
Good
Good
night,
night.
Bob.
Miss you.
Miss you.
Okay, Shane, how about the certificate of appropriateness?
What's your question about it?
Explain it to us. Like do we really have any opportunity to use that as a tool?
You have the opportunity only to use it as a tool when you have an actual program that is in effect, and that you have a structure that is in a program. So my familiarity with it when I was at the county was you would have a historic structure that was a county landmark in the county program. And say, for example, they wanted to change the shutters on it. They would have to submit to the Historic Preservation Commission at the county, and they would then determine whether it was appropriate. And then they would issue or deny that certificate of appropriateness. But again, you need a program that is in force, and you need structures that are actually designated as city landmarks, or in the case I'm familiar with, county landmarks.
Would that be like the Maryland Historic Trust and the easements that they have?
No. Ours, if we had a program that was in full force and effect, it would be our program, and it would be the HPC that would then determine that certificate of appropriateness. So like I said, at the county, with the little bit of time that I spent with the Historic Preservation Commission at the county, that's what would happen. You would come in, you'd have a historic structure that was designated as a county landmark, and you would say, I want to put new shutters on, or I want to build an addition. Here's my plans. That would come before the Historic Preservation Commission at the county. They would look at it, make determinations, and they would either deny it or approve it and say you need to, your shutters have to be this style or this color or those types of things.
Well, you don't have to have a structure that's designated itself. You have to have a local historic district, which we kind of do.
Right. Yeah, well, I disagree with you, Kathy, just in the sense that the way I'm familiar with is that you have to have a designated structure. You can't just say in this historic district, anybody in the historic district.
No, it says it right in here. It could be a contributing property in a historic district, but it has to be a
Yeah,
local.
I think that works both ways. You can have the way that Hartford County has it set up, or you can designate a district and then everything in that district would fall under the controls as well.
Right. That's what it says in this ordinance.
I don't have it in front of me. My apologies, but that's what I'm familiar with, and I thought it was very similar
I
to.
talked to April about it, and I just think that's general wording from that, on that. It's not an ordinance. I think isn't it a resolution or just a sub paragraph?
Are we
But-
talking about the August 18th, 2018 ordinance?
No, it was,
You mean the resolution?
Yeah.
no, not the resolution. I'm not talking about the resolution. There, we had that, the sub paragraph. Let me get my charter. Hold on.
From code section 97, I think that's what is that what you're reading from, Kathy?
Yeah.
Would you reference that for the group, please?
Yeah, it's on the, it's chapter 97 of the historic
Right.
preservation. Yeah.
Of the city chart, of the city or
City
code.
code.
Well, Carolyn is getting that. I just bumped into a news piece, Shane, from like a year ago, and it explained that Hartford County is now a certified local government.
That's correct. I actually hired Caitlin Merritt, who recently left to go to Baltimore County.
Mhm.
She was amazing. And I could still use her as a resource. I consider her a friend. She's just a whip when it comes to historic preservation. And she went through that rigorous program.
It looked really big. Yeah.
It's very rigorous. But she was able to get them designated as a certified local government.
Yeah, because I was sort of reading up about Frederick and stuff, and I kept seeing this certified local government thing. And then I saw this news piece about the county just last year. And I thought, how come we don't know this stuff? And not that, I mean, because Havre de Grace is its own municipality, we're not really subject to that.
No.
But still, we ought to, I mean, I want to understand the larger context of the preservation scene in the county.
I'll have to ask though. Let me ask Caitlin, even though she's not with the county, like I said, I could use her as a resource. Let me ask her if the CLG has any bearing on the city, because I believe it's all encompassing in the county. It doesn't mean that any municipality doesn't have to.
Right, yeah.
But I think, just let me check into it, because I'm not.
I was interested, yeah. Okay, thanks.
Yeah, so it's 97.7 application for certificate of appropriateness. And it does say the structure of is a designated landmark site or structure, or a structure within a designated district. So that's what I was talking about. Like if a municipality has a local historic district, then structures within that designated district would, and we don't have any of that right now. So that certificate of appropriateness doesn't really.
Right. So that's the part I forgot. Thanks for bringing that back up. Yeah, if you have a designated district at the county, so for example, at the county, we had other designated districts, but I don't recall, like for example, in Darlington,
Mhm.
That's a designated district up there.
Okay.
Just because you had a historic structure in the designated district up there, it didn't require a certificate of appropriateness. You had to be designated as a historic landmark or county landmark. So, and I apologize. I quite frankly, I don't know all the nuances of what's in the code for certificate of appropriateness, but I am familiar enough from the county. So.
Yeah, it doesn't really apply to us anyway.
Mhm.
I mean, we do have a local historic district by resolution. So I don't think that is really the same as declaring, it was sort of a declaration of the local historic district being the same as our National Register Historic District.
Right.
And that was by resolution. So I don't think that really means we have a local historic district that's the same as our National Registers.
I would agree.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, anything else? Any comments or? I'll type up what I can of this. I obviously missed a few minutes, but I think maybe it was mostly everybody getting on anyhow and connecting, so I apologize for that. One of my computers worked.
I tried to have sort of poll everyone about their willingness to continue to serve on the commission, and
Okay,
we only got we got to Ellen. So let's finish that up if we could, please.
sure.
Well, I'm a certain amount of overwhelmed, normally anyway, and have felt like not really sure of what I want to do. Willing to kind of listen and maybe help decide things, but I really don't feel comfortable saying that I want to lead anything. I can barely keep up.
Well, no, that's not the question. The question is, do you choose to remain on the commission? And if you don't, then, be candid about it, because we need to, move on. But I get the sense you wish to remain, but don't want to take on a major project.
You don't want to necessarily be one of the named officer positions type position. Right, okay. That's fair.
And we joked with Roger earlier and Jim that they've both just come on, so we trust they're interested in staying on. So
Well, I thought I heard Jim say treasurer.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. Okay.
If I may, real quick, I have not eaten dinner. So
Oh, yeah.
I'm starved.
Neither have I.
If there's nothing else for me, if you wouldn't mind me stepping out.
Yeah.
All right, thank you
Next
for.
time we want a concert, Shane.
Appreciate
Yes,
it.
ma'am. And if there's anything that you ask me questions on tonight and I don't get back to you just because I'm a little crazy right now, please do not hesitate to contact me and say, hey, you didn't get back to me on this or whatever. So I'm going to try to remember everything I promised tonight and get back to you as soon as possible. Don't hesitate to call me out and say you were supposed to get back to me on this. What would you find out? So
Okay,
Thank you, Jane. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
sure.
Thank
Have a good evening.
Yeah.
thank you. Do we have, Jean, were you going to do the chairman role until you have to go out to Oregon, or?
I offered, yep.
Okay.
We
I thought you
accepted.
Yep.
had second, okay.
Our next meeting will be September 8th. Maybe by then we can sort out some of these.
Yeah, and I'll schedule it for City Hall. They can clean after us.
Okay.
Swab the
There's some-
desks or whatever.
Oh,
Now,
that'd be
I volunteered to be the secretary.
Yeah.
Oh, wonderful.
Yep. Thank you, Kathleen. That's lovely. The other quick thing that I wanted to share with you guys, and I don't know whether it's of interest, but Shane was, I think, really giving us some wonderful encouragement to try to, inform ourselves and get a little more savvy about some of the administrative and other issues around historic preservation. And tomorrow, Preservation Maryland is doing a webinar in the afternoon, and I'll send around the link. If anybody wants to take it, it's historic preservation in the context of local planning. It might be useful because, to go back to what he had said about the setbacks, some very specific practical things that we could lobby for So I'll send that link around if of interest. It's a free
Yeah.
thing, Preservation Maryland.
I think we all have Preservation Maryland. Didn't, probably everybody got it. I got it. We all belong to Preservation Maryland. Did everybody get that email?
I did
I don't
not get an email for the webinar, no. Or maybe it's in my junk file. I was looking at Preservation Maryland for
Oh.
another reason. And produced it there.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. I think that's a good idea, Jean, that.
Well,
Yeah.
we'll send it around again. Then it's 1 o'clock tomorrow. And again, may or may not be relevant to our situation. And yeah, great. Okay.
Last question, is there anyone who wants to take a look at that list?
Yeah, I'm going to look for it, Carolyn. I think I have a copy of it.
Okay.
And I'm going to look and see where I can find it. I know, although Shane said he's going to talk to Diane, I know Diane has it.
Yeah, I know Diane does too, because we had a conversation about when I first came on board, so.
If I find it, I will send it out to people, to the
Okay.
commission.
Yeah,
And
that'll be a good idea, because then we can just maybe go through the top 10, 20 properties that are most important to you all.
okay, I'll let you know if I find.
We start to get on this immediately. And if you could distribute it prior to, like by the end of next week at the latest, everyone can have a homework assignment. So September 8th, we will concentrate on that. We don't have to cover everything at every meeting. We can be
Right,
focused,
right.
concentrate on that. Because I think that's something that, he was sending us a signal there and we need to get it. So we could do that. We could probably do it right now without even having the list, but we'll
Right.
look at the list just in case we don't miss up. I was really impressed with Shane. I've always been impressed with him. Thank you, Carolyn. It was really smart to invite him.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think there's been so many unanswered questions and we need some direction. I think, and especially that he's willing to give us suggestions in terms of some of the things to
Mhm.
do and help us improve communication
Mhm.
throughout the city hall. So I think that's a great opportunity for us and for getting to know Shane better and how he's trying to help.
Mhm.
yeah.
And,
Okay, thank you.
and supporting him. I mean, if
Yeah.
we have specific things that we feel strong about, it is a delicate balance because obviously he works for the city administration, but we need to speak out ourselves too. So, yeah. So
All right, well, I want to thank everyone. Is there anything else? I don't want to cut anyone off. Is there anything else?
You hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Yes, thank God. Okay. This is a ridiculous thing, but don't forget Jim, the treasurer. I have $30. I've sold
Oh, yes, t-shirts.
all the money we can
Well,
get. these
I'm not sworn in till next week, so hold on to it.
You might be tempted to spend it, right, Jim, if she gives it to you now?
And
Yeah,
Jim,
with no oversight.
Yes, yes.
I do want to say that I was so thrilled with what Shane said, and I do think that he's trying to encourage us to help to give him information so that he can help us as well.
right,
He's willing
absolutely.
to support us in this, but we have to give him the information that he needs to do that.
Right.
And I think he was being very specific about, as much as he could about encouraging us to do that. So let's do it.
Oops, before I let you go, I almost forgot. Kathy Keene,
Yes,
there's supposed to be a presentation, the first council meeting in September on the Lafayette Trail.
yes.
Okay, and you're aware of that too? Because I just
Yeah.
found out about it today and I know we had talked about it, but
Yeah, it's going to be Julie and Bambi and I'll be there.
great.
And we're going to have a presentation of the new Lafayette Trail mobile app. So I would like everybody on the commission you can stream the city council meeting on, live. And I found out the easy way to do it is I just Googled stream Havertide Grace City Council meeting and it popped right up.
Yep,
That's all you got to do. And,
That's
or
all
you
you
can
do.
watch it the next night on Hartford Cable Network, Channel 21.
it's more fun when it's live.
Oh, yeah, it is. So, yeah, I'm excited about this mobile app. I mean, it's really a great thing for the Lafayette Trail.
Yeah, yeah, we're excited to see it. I know, because we've been, we've been waiting and held up by COVID like everything else and everyone else.
Right.
So it'll be exciting.
Yeah. Well, we're coming out with a press release about it. And we're working on a rack card, which will be done. We're having Don work on that as a designer. So it's almost all done,
Yep.
So
Well, maybe by that meeting, it'll be ready for the rollout completely. So,
I think it will be. I think it will be. Yeah.
okay. Anyone else have any comments? I think I've gone through my list.
I would just like to say, as a newcomer to the town, I have no idea what's going on with this preservation things, but I want to thank every one of you that have contributed over the years to capture this town and keep it the way it is to this point. Thank you for all your efforts. And I hope somehow in the future, I'll be able to figure out how to participate.
Okay.
Oh,
Thank you,
thank
Debbie.
you.
And when did you move here?
I've been here a year and a couple months now, so
Well, welcome. We're glad to see you.
so happy to be here.
Thank you.
Happy to have you.
All right. I guess we can sign off. Jim, just send me a short bio so I can read it out at the meeting on Monday night, okay?
Okay.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. All right,
Sure.
Roger, thanks for sending me your email address.
You're welcome.
All right.
Oh, yeah. Jean, is that list you made up is correct then, right?
Yeah, it's just that I don't have the terms on it. I didn't have
Oh,
it
right.
reliable. I'll get that done and then I'll distribute it in paper in September.
All right. Thank you.
That has all the emails, the addresses and the phone numbers of all commission members.
Yep.
Yeah. And if you look online, as you probably know, you can see the terms, because I looked to see when my term expired.
Yeah, I'm not sure they're right because mine says
Oh.
19 on it and I don't think that,
Oh,
I'm not
mine
sure.
expires next August, a year from now.
And Kevin's name is misspelled.
Well, I think it got corrected. I think it got
Did, all right.
a message, so.
Son-in-law Kevin, so I know how to spell Kevin.
And the other names have been deleted who are no longer on the commission, including Marita, who was still on the list. So,
Yeah, right. Thank you, Carolyn.
yeah, so that got done today.
Okay, thanks.
All right, making progress.
Bye, everyone.
All right. Thanks,
Bye-bye.
everyone. Appreciate your time. Candace, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Okay,
Bye.
good night.
Bye-bye, Candace. Bye.
Night.
Bye.
Good night, everybody.